Hello, partiers, and welcome to Party Pastime, your one-stop shop of all of your entertainment news and discussions. I'm your host, Thomas, and you can check us out on HCC's very own Hawk Radio. Every week, my co-hosts Patrick, Terrence, and I talk about the latest video games and movie news and reviews.
With these memes on the internet, I can't. I can't. And I know the ones you're talking about.
you know the one. I can't imagine, well, like in that old movie Airplane, they all line up, just kind of slap him.
Yeah. They all line up just
Kind of like that bizarre, like, spank train in SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, slapping
Party
Thanos.
Pastime, streaming on Hawk Radio and now streaming on YouTube.com. Hello, partiers, and welcome to Party Pastime here on Hawk Radio. I am your host, Thomas, and I'm here with my good friend, Patrick.
Hello.
And we have a great show for you guys today. Today we're going to talk about the trailer to Matrix 4, which I know Patrick is all excited to talk about, and I know, Patrick, you're also excited to talk about PlayStation when they released the trailers for Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine.
Yeet.
And, of course, we are also going to talk about Shang-Chi later on in our after-party show. But before we get into that, Pat, you have some stuff you want to talk about.
Whatever I can talk about, I guess. Yeah, so you may have noticed, wasn't a show the past couple weeks. I talked about this the last time we were here. I took a trip out to California, sort of as part of my internship at the recording studio, to visit Skywalker Ranch. More specifically Skywalker Sound, which of course is where they mix all the Star Wars stuff as well as other projects. They don't just do Star Wars, but that's like their big claim to fame, obviously, like Skywalker's in the name. So I can't say too many specifics. They made me sign an NDA before I even, like a week and a half before I even got on the plane. And I wasn't really allowed to take pictures or record very much. But I can say it was an incredible experience. It was the coolest thing I've ever done, by far. Skywalker Ranch is huge, by the way. I don't know why I thought it would be small. But there's the main house, which is like this big, like, old country style mansion. Mm-hmm. If you've ever watched The Walking Dead, Herschel's mansion, kinda, like his big farmhouse, mm-hmm. From the outside, it looks kind of like that, but it's way bigger. There's the technical building, which houses multiple sound and mixing stages, including Skywalker Sound. And that's where they have the big auditorium, where they bring in, like, John Williams to record all the orchestras and stuff. There is a barn, a vineyard, a hilltop observatory, and a private 300-seat movie theater with multiple viewing rooms.
300 seat.
300 seats.
Wow.
The technical building sits on a lake, and all of the parking, or the majority of the parking, I should say, is under the ground to preserve the natural landscape. It has its own interstate exit, so it's completely removed from the rest of modern California, as it were. There's a big gate that you have to go through, and it just kind of rests in the naturally hilly countryside of California. As far as what I got to do, the only place I got to visit, like, I didn't go anywhere really except the technical building to Skywalker Sound. I got to tour all of the sound and mixing stages. And I got to sit in the main stage, and I got to watch them do their thing, I got to watch them, like, professional Hollywood-level audio engineers mm-hmm. work on Star Wars, work on some Marvel stuff. I got to watch some...
Ooh.
Yeah, Skywalker Sound does a lot of stuff. I did see things that are under wraps. I saw things that were only just recently revealed. I just got to ask a lot of questions. It was a very valuable experience for learning about working in the field and what it entails. So I asked what questions I could. I met some really cool people. And I still can't believe it happened. It's definitely the coolest thing I've ever done, for sure. Just crazy. Yeah, it was a great trip. I was out there for 4 days, but 3 of them were spent going back and forth. So I had other time to just like hang out and chill. I got to have In-N-Out for the first time as a native Floridian.
So what do you think of In-N-Out? Because I've been there a few times when I went to California.
It's pretty good.
Oh, dude, I freaking love In-N-Out.
I like Shake Shack more, but it was still really good. I got a double animal style, and I added chopped chilies to it.
Oh, heck yeah!
It was really good. I mean, it's hard to make a bad burger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially like when you're like an institution like In-N-Out, like it's pretty hard to make a bad burger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Still like Shake Shack more, but still, I mean, hey, really good. I guess I wasn't disappointed in it, so it definitely met the expectations that I had for it going in, which were pretty high because nobody shuts up about In-N-Out.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of In-N-Out, you know the big rumors they might be opening one at Universal City Walk?
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. I may have to go there about once a week now.
This is completely unsubstantiated, and it's only a rumor that started maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. But I had a friend who was working at Universal City Walk, and one of the stores across from the Hard Rock where he worked has been closed and vacant for a while. And he told me that the big rumor, the big fuss was that an In-N-Out might be opening in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
I will be tactically avoiding that In-N-Out. I don't know, 10 years before if it opens. Yeah, Skywalker Sound was incredible, and that's pretty much all I can say about it.
Dude, all I can tell you is that you're living the dream.
Yeah, it's definitely like when it's funny when I got back, I went by my Publix that I worked at to, say hey, what's up to everybody, and Adam referred to it as a once in nobody's lifetime experience, and that's pretty true. It's funny. I don't know why me, but we take those. So yeah, I'm super happy about it.
I have a little announcement myself.
Sure.
I'm finally working in high-end broadcasting now.
Hey.
I got a job at the Home Shopping Network out in St. Pete. I really want to call it my first day because I have to still do orientation.
Yeah.
And then I officially begin. But that day I would consider like more of a tour day, get to meet the team that I'm going to work with.
Yeah.
I'm going to be working with a field team. So all of the products that they advertise, we go out and film the customers using their products. And then on the live show, when the guy goes on and advertises it, they jump to the B-roll footage of us.
Yeah.
Well, not us, but of our videos of
the footage that you shot.
Of the footage that I shot, yeah. So that's the team I'm going to work for. Big studio out in St. Pete. I was really expecting it to be a little smaller.
I kind of get what you mean.
Because just being the Home Shopping Network, I did not expect it to be that big.
Right, but then you realize how many people use the Home Shopping Network. Yeah.
They have one whole building just for storage alone.
Yeah,
and it's huge.
I'm sure, man.
And I'm really excited for that. All I can say, Pat, is that you and I are now living the dream.
I know. Isn't it crazy?
We're living the dream, Pat.
I actually didn't think like 3 years ago when I started doing this show that I wouldn't be doing anything in terms of audio, and this would just be a thing that I do. Mm-hmm. And I'm like on the cusp of making audio a career. It's crazy. Life's like that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the show, I do want to give a quick update. I will get our last episode uploaded soon, I have the party pastime email is on my old phone number, and I have two-factor authentication on. So I'll get that figured out, and I'll have the
Party's over.
Welcome back, partiers, to Party Pastime. This is the show where we talk about all of our entertainment news. And today, Pat, let's begin today's our main topics with some that I know you are excited for because you've played these games.
Yes.
PlayStation has released a trailer, even though it was a very short trailer. They've released a trailer for Spider-Man 2, and also a new upcoming game, Wolverine.
Yeah, and they're both being made by Insomniac Studios, who are like the unsung heroes of this new console generation, I guess, because they made Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and now they're also working on 2 different Marvel games.
They've also done Avengers. Oh, wait a minute.
That's Square Enix. Dummy.
I know that.
Okay. Yeah, so these were shown at the state of play that they had a few weeks ago about the future of the PlayStation 5, the back half of which was all about PlayStation 5 exclusives coming up. So they dropped these. They didn't drop them back to back. They dropped like one, and then there were like a couple more announcements, and then they did the other. So we got to see the Wolverine trailer, which is literally like 15 seconds long. It's just a few shots of, you know, a pretty messed up looking bar and a dude approaching a patron sitting there, and then, you know, you get a close up of the patron's hand and the claws snaked out. Really cool. I'm happy this is happening. We haven't had a good Wolverine game in quite a while. Pretty sure the last time we got a solo Wolverine game was when they did the movie tie-in game for X-Men Origins Wolverine. By the way, if you haven't played X-Men Origins Wolverine on PS3 or Xbox 360, you should play it. That game's awesome. It's way better than the movie. It's like an M-rated, super gory third-person hack and slash where you get to just do all kinds of crazy Wolverine stuff. It's awesome. Play it. So this trailer, although short, seemed pretty gritty. Like Wolverine had some pretty busted up knuckles and stuff. So what my biggest hope is that they are able to deliver a violent and gritty Wolverine game and story, whether it's an origin story or not. I would love to see Insomniac do something M-rated. They've done other M-rated stuff before, like Sunset Overdrive, but it's really like Sunset Overdrive is basically a comic book in video game form. It's really cutesy and zany and loud. So I would love to see like a really like just like a dark, kind of brutal Wolverine experience. Although I understand if they wouldn't do that. And then we got a longer look at Spider-Man 2. This trailer was really cool. Showed off some of the new tech that Spider-Man's using. He's got the arms now from like the Iron Spider suit, sort of. Suit looks a little bit different. Spider-Man and, you know, Peter Parker and Miles are both in this one, of course. The big things are the narration sounds, the person speaking in the trailer sounds as though they are speaking to someone and they have a Russian accent and they're speaking about waiting so long for an equal, yada yada. We don't have any confirmation or anything, but given all of that, clearly the person speaking in the trailer, it's gotta be Kraven the Hunter. So that's cool. So we get Kraven the Hunter. And then, at the very end of the trailer, we get our first look at Venom, who, and I mean, like, just a brief, like, flash of Venom, and he responds to the person speaking. So maybe Venom and Kraven are looking to team up and take down the two spider dudes. It's possible. Venom is voiced by Tony Todd, by the way, who's Candyman. So, great voice. really good choice. This doesn't come out until 2023, by the way. Tony Todd posted on Twitter that the game is absolutely massive, and that's why it's not coming out for another, 2 years potentially, or a year and a half. But I'm really excited about this. Obviously, like the implications from the post-credit scenes from the first 2 games. Harry Osborn is Venom by the looks. For those of you who haven't played the first game, the one of the big plot points, or one of the big turning points in the plot, is they reveal that the reason that Harry isn't in the game, or that he's been gone for years, is he's been really sick. And you find out in the post-credits scene that Norman Osborn, his father, is keeping him in a Bacta tank, and the Bacta tank has he's sort of encased, or kind of wrapped up in this black oozing organism. And it's a cool moment, at the very end of the post-credit scene. Norman has his head down, and he puts his hand up to the glass to tell his son that he's there.
Mm-hmm.
And the black ooze reaches up and does the same thing. So it's obviously the symbiote, and the symbiote is being used as a hypothetical cure for whatever sickness Harry seems to be inflicted with, which is cool, because that's actually sort of a plot pulled from the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. In the Ultimate Universe, Peter's dad and Eddie Brock's dad were 2 scientists, and they developed the Venom suit in a lab as a cure for cancer. And then the second, the post-credit scene in the second Miles Morales game, Norman is basically telling, the lead scientist on the project to let Harry out. It's been long enough. And scientist is no, don't do it. We don't know the implications. We don't know if it's ready. And he's I don't care, man. Drain the tank. And then they start draining the tank. And obviously, I'm pretty sure at the moment Harry Osborn is Venom.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe it gets transferred to somebody else at some point,
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Brock or Flash Thompson. Who knows? Yeah, I'm really excited.
So I haven't played those the Spider-Man and Miles Morales game, but
Sure.
From what you're telling me, some that you're really looking forward to is that storyline of Harry being Venom.
Yeah, I mean, ever since the post-credit scene of the first game, when it showed Harry was wrapped up in basically the symbiote, which seems to be created in a lab. Now I was oh, this is interesting. They haven't done this before. Yeah, and also I'm hoping, since both, Peter Parker and Miles are involved in this game, obviously, now that they're fighting crime, together, I hope you can switch between them.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you can, seamlessly swap between, how in, GTA 5 you can swap between 3 characters. I think that would be really cool, because they actually do play pretty differently. Miles has some electricity-based powers and stuff. So, yeah. I'm excited.
So, Pat, do you think in Spider-Man 2, when we play as Miles, we can get that swag back?
I hate you. Shout out to GameSpot. Context for those of you who don't know, in the GameSpot review for Spider-Man Miles Morales, they specifically use the phrase, "I love how Miles moves with the exaggerated swagger of a black teen." Oh boy.
Moving on. Moving on. Patrick, the week we came back, literally driving here, Warner Bros. Released the trailer for The Matrix Resurrections.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty freaking awesome.
Looks pretty rad.
It looks pretty cool.
Not gonna lie, I don't feel very strongly. Well, okay, I do feel strongly. I don't feel positively about the second two Matrix movies. Full disclosure, I think the first Matrix movie is incredible, and then Matrix, what is it? The other two, I can never remember this.
I don't remember them either.
I know Matrix Revolutions is the third one. I can never remember what the second one is. I don't like them very much. I think by the time the second movie is over, that series is way too far up its own butt. And then the third one is insane with like Dragon Ball Z fights that warp reality, which is not why I like the first movie to begin with. You know, the first movie is a pretty grounded and as realistic as it can be, like martial arts film.
Yeah, which the trailer looks like it's coming back to formula.
Yeah. The trailer seems to be like a bit of a return to form. It also just looks really cool, like the way that it's shot and like just like the visuals of the movie look really cool. I am curious to know the plot. They're not giving anything away. Like the trailer is basically just like a 4-minute demo reel for like their cinematography.
Yeah.
But
the one thing I'm kind of surprised at, only one of the Wachowskis is back.
Yes. Yeah, one of them is not involved. I don't know why. I feel like they were both involved at one point and then the other one dropped out, but I can't remember. Yeah, I think one of them just feels like it should have been left alone, and I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we won't know if it's good until it's out. I hope it's good. I want there to be more than one good Matrix movie.
Of course, yeah.
You know?
Of course.
I mean, obviously, like I'm not really counting Animatrix, even though it's really good. Yeah.
Was that the Wachowskis, or was that someone completely different?
I don't remember if the Wachowskis were involved with Animatrix or not. They might have been. I'll have to look that up later. Yeah, Animatrix is really good, but it's not like a main line,
right?
Like Keanu Reeves isn't in it,
right?
Yeah, this definitely looks really interesting. I'm happy to see Keanu Reeves in anything. So, especially something that's not John Wick. I love the John Wick movies, but I'd like to see my boy branch out. So
exactly, it seems like everyone knows him as a John Wick, which you and I know him as the guy in the Matrix originally,
and Bill and Ted,
and Bill and Ted, especially Bill and Ted,
and Speed.
Yeah, because I know he played as the main character. What was his name again?
Neo.
Neo.
We're talking Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that but I also know that he has like a busy schedule with John Wick and a few other things he's doing. It's really cool that he really opened up to come back to do this movie that pretty much got him in this whole action career.
Yeah, I'm happy that he actually like came back to play the character. I'm happy about that for sure.
Moving on, Pat, to our last bit of news. I don't know. I know you're excited for it, Pat. I know I am excited for it. But HBO Max finally released a little first look, image from their upcoming series, The Last of Us, based on the hit PlayStation video game.
Yes, with Pedro Pascal as Joel. Yeah, that's an image, all right. It
does look something out of the video game. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got the look down, but I mean, it doesn't really show. It doesn't show us anything except a crashed, supply plane and the backs of Joel and Ellie. But with everybody involved, especially with Neil Druckmann and all that being involved with this, I'm sure it'll be really good. HBO doesn't really make bad television. I don't know if you've noticed, but most things that HBO puts out are pretty well acclaimed, like The Sopranos and The Wire and Chernobyl.
Chernobyl's I think Chernobyl's really one of their best ones.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
what? Not True Blood was Cinemax, right? 6 Feet Under is also HBO. Like,
Pat, you're forgetting their big one though.
Am I?
Yeah, you.
Oh right, Game of Thrones.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones, but I heard the finale was
How could I forget Game of Thrones? All right, let me paint a picture for you.
Okay.
Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 5 are like the front half of the most beautiful thoroughbred racehorse you've ever seen. The back half of Game of Thrones is like, well, starting with like, okay, like the quality starts to decline starting around season 6, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And it just continues to dip.
Right.
Until you get to the end, which is like the crippled half of the horse because it got hit by a car. Yeah. I will say this, though. Even though you know that the ending is bad, or like that the ending is, you know, what it is, I would still highly recommend watching Game of Thrones because the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, to this day, are some of the best television ever made. Mm-hmm. Like, bar none.
So I brought that up because, you know, we're listing a lot of their HBO, we're listing a lot of their shows.
Yeah.
You know, from miniseries to multi-seasonal shows. Right now, it says right here that The Last of Us is currently in production with no release date announced yet. Excuse me. So something that I want to ask, do you, even though we haven't even gotten, we only have a picture.
Yeah.
Do you see this more being just a mini series, or do you see this going on for multi seasons? Because really in gaming wise, we only have 2 games.
I could see this doing more than 1 season.
Really? I kind of see the opposite. I really see this being more of a mini series.
No, they could do it.
I say that in the sense of like story, like they are gonna do multi season with no doubt, probably because everyone is all hyped for it.
Sure.
But I don't know. I think it's just because they have also the creator of Chernobyl. His name is Craig Mazin.
Yeah.
He's going to write and he's also going to be one of the executive producers. Yeah. Like I said, Chernobyl, great show.
Yeah, it's
really great show.
Yeah.
And I really don't. 2 shows come in mind when it comes to multi-season shows that end up really being horrible. Game of Thrones is one of them, even though I haven't watched it. Walking Dead is one of them, which I've last year when we were in lockdown, guess what I did?
Watch all
the Walking Dead. Holy crap. After season 3, it really tanks. I only ever watched the first 2 seasons, ever.
It has its ups and downs. It's like
I got bored of it real quick.
The first 2.5 seasons of Walking Dead are fantastic. Mm-hmm. The back half of season 3 is bad. All of season 4 is boring. Mm-hmm. Season 5 is a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Season 6, it starts to get interesting. The beginning of season 7 is like the highest of highs. It's so cool. And then it's so up and down.
Yeah.
I've heard, I don't watch The Walking Dead anymore, but I've heard that this newest last season is actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I'll go back to it.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm kind of worried about for The Last of Us. I really don't want to see this respected and beloved franchise to go.
When I say multi-season, I don't mean like 3, 4, 5. I mean like 1 or 2.
1 or 2, okay.
I mean like 2 seasons.
2.
Because like there's a lot that happens in the first game. Like the plot of the first game could take up a season by itself.
Yeah.
Like they like the plot of the first game goes through an entire year. Mm-hmm. Like it goes through all 4 seasons. Mm. So I mean, like the game is literally divided into summer, spring, winter, fall. So like, they could easily do an entire season based off the first game. Mm-hmm. And then if they want to do a second season based on the second game, or if they want to chop the first game into 2 seasons, however they want to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they'll find a way to do it justice. There's a lot of talented people at the helm. Maybe it's butchered. Maybe it turns out to be a mess. I don't know. I don't want it to be that way. Mm-hmm. I want there to be a good, like, adaptation of a video game property,
Right.
because we haven't really gotten one yet. So I have faith in them that this will turn out at least good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And I think that about does it for our main topics of the day. If everyone at home tuning in live, tune in here in a little bit. We're going to do our after party show for those listening at home on Spotify and YouTube. Tune in on Monday or any day after our hashtag Party On podcast is uploaded, whenever I deal with the whole thing with Google. But until then, stick around. We'll be back with our after party show with our review and spoiler talk for the new Marvel film, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.